Oh, hi. Well, while we're just hanging around, why don't you let me talk to you about dead hanging? What is dead hanging? It's simply hanging from a bar. It's called dead hanging because you're not doing anything, you're just dead weight. There are numerous benefits to doing this. I mean, the first thing is it builds up your grip strength, which is always a good thing to have. It builds up your forearms. And it also builds up your mental fortitude because you have to focus on something while you're doing this. It's kind of boring just hanging there. The other great thing that it does is that it gives you some expansion in your shoulder joints. When your arms are stretched that straight and the weight is coming down, your shoulder joints can expand a little bit. It can free up room for your shoulder tendons to move more freely, and it just makes your shoulders feel better. It also builds up the muscles in your shoulders and your back. Depending on how you do it, you can also do a more active version of it where you protract your shoulder blades, bring them up, and that will also strengthen your shoulders in a different way. All this is great, but there's two sort of gotchas with this. The first is, where do you do this? Most people don't have pull-up bars in their house, right? You either have to get one and install it in a doorway, or go to a park where there's one, or find a tree in your yard that you can hang from a branch, something like that. So you have to find a place to do the hanging, because this is something that you benefit from doing every day. There's some ways to do it at home without that equipment. One thing you can do is put your arms straight overhead as you go through a doorway and just sort of let that stretch your shoulders. It's not quite the same thing. You're not putting full weight on it, but you are mobilizing your shoulders. Another thing you can do, and this is also a way to work on your pull-ups, is you can do it underneath a table or underneath a chair. Make sure that you have a solid table or a solid chair, but you can hang, again, it's not your full weight, but it's a lot of your weight hanging from the table or the chair, and that can do a little bit of the same thing. It's not quite the same because that dead hang going straight down is what we're really talking about in terms of all this benefit. But any amount of hanging is going to be a good thing for your grip strength, your forearms, and your shoulders. You can find ways to sort of cheat it a little bit at home. The second sort of gotcha with this is the grip strength. Having the grip strength to do this is the big trick. Most of us are strong enough to hold our weight, but our hands are not strong enough to hold our weight, if that makes sense. So your arm muscles can do it, but your hands can't. So you have to build up the grip strength. So if you grab a bar and you slip off after a couple of seconds, it's not ideal. You want to be able to build this up to where you're doing it for 30 seconds or a minute or 5 minutes or however long you can. If you've got access to pull-up bands, you can use a band to do it. Take some of the pressure off. Or if the pull-up bar is close enough to the ground where you can bend your knees and keep your feet on the ground and ease the weight, so you can kind of start at not all of your weight and work your way to all of your weight. These are ways to build up the grip strength to do this. Another thing you can do is hold weights to your side to build up your grip strength. Farmer's carrying is a great way to build up your grip strength, and this will translate to holding onto a bar longer, which I demonstrated in this video last week, so check it out. On top of the general benefits of this, there is also some research that shows that it can actually repair injured shoulders. I got wind of a book that was self-published by an Australian doctor years ago, and he had 100 patients that had various shoulder ailments, and he had all of them go through this regimen of dead hanging and a couple of other easy shoulder movements, and I think 96 of them got better without surgery. He showed that there is a way to use this to treat shoulder injuries. I'm not sure it'll work for everybody. This is a little bit more anecdotal than anything, but it worked for me. I tore my shoulder laying out for a Frisbee. Actually, I've done this twice, but 10 years ago it was pretty bad. I was trying several different things to try to treat it, and I got wind of this book, and then I started doing the hanging, and that is what ultimately fixed my shoulder. Got me to the point where there's no pain. I did it religiously. I did it every day for 5 minutes a day. The way I did it was I set a timer on my watch for 34 seconds. I would jump up on my rings that I have outside. I would hang until my buzzer went off, and then I would reset it, rest for 30 seconds, reset it, jump back up for 30 seconds, and do that 5 times. And that's what I did. I mean, I did that for several months, and it actually fixed my shoulder. I continued to hang quite a bit after that, although I've petered off. I now hang often, but not every day, maybe not even every week. I do have access to pull-up bars at some of the gyms that my clients are at, and also the gym I belong to. And I have the rings outside, so when it's not freezing, I can go out there and hang. So I try to hang a few times a month just to make sure that I'm keeping that openness in my shoulders. I think it's something that you can do. I really highly recommend you try it, see if it works for you. And while you're hanging around, why not subscribe to my channel? It would be a big help. I really appreciate it. Thank you. I hope you found this useful or interesting. And again, I hope you try it. And as always, stay healthy.